Hey everybody, this is Ted Check. I am here with Chris from Wild Charge. This is a new wave of British, or not British, haha, new wave
I
of
wish.
traditional heavy metal. I mean, it stems from the British invasion, but
Definitely does.
new wave of traditional heavy metal. Wild Charge is the band from California. Chris sings and he plays lead guitar along with another guy in the band. They trade off leads. And so, Chris, how you
Mhm.
doing tonight?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm great, great. Yeah, happy to finally talk with you. I know we were talking a little bit over Facebook,
hmm
so yeah, this is great. This is something that I do. I was around in the '80s, and so I remember kind of the heyday of things. But I've noticed that there is kind of this new wave of bands, and so I just like to do my little part and interview guys, they're active in the scene. So, and I noticed in doing my research that you guys have actually been around for well over a decade. Is that right?
just a little bit over a decade, yeah, off and
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
you did you guys meet at MIT Musicians Institute of Technology?
Me and the original founding member did, but he was a real cool guy. He was there on a student visa, and when it expired, he had to go back to Bulgaria.
Ah,
And
okay.
obviously, being from California, stayed in California, so I
Yeah.
decided to keep it going.
So, and for those who don't know, this is a MIT Musicians Institute of Technology. It's a great academic place for
Yeah,
modern day musicians. Within it, if I get this right, there's GIT, Guitarist Institute of Technology, and then they've got everything
yeah.
like bass and drums.
Bass drums, even recording, they teach you everything there.
And it's Paul Gilbert was there, and
hmm
his co-lead Bruce Bouillet went through there. Pretty much
hmm
everybody on Shrapnel Records went
Yeah,
through there.
yeah.
Buckethead, who was a student of Paul Gilbert's, I believe, at one time. So
hmm
lot of prominent musicians came out of there. Um, so yeah, that's cool that there's that connection with you. And so how did you guys come upon? How did you decide on the name?
uh, so I'm kind of a little bit of a nerd, and I was taking the train
No.
every day to school, and I would play my Game Boy on the way, just I don't know, something to do instead of studying. And I played Pokemon a lot, and there was a little move in the Pokemon game called Wild Charge, and I don't know why I was just like, I'm gonna make my band name that. So I got the
Okay.
name from Pokemon.
All right. No, that's cool. That's cool. And
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense that there is a strong Japanese influence
There
in
is
the
a little,
band.
yeah,
Am
there
I
is.
right?
A little bit, yeah. I think it's just circumstantial that this single and the next single are both Japanese related, and in the band name. But a lot of other stuff isn't going to be very Japanese. It's going to be like we have other songs about World War II,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and we even have a song about crystal meth because like where I live, it's a big problem out here.
Oh,
So
geez.
write about the shit we see every day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, that's great. I mean, that's music, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you got to write about what you know and what you experience. But yeah, that
hmm
you mentioned the single, so that's City Hunter,
hmm
which is a manga, that's for those who don't know, that's a Japanese comic book,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And it kind of has, to me, it kind of has a almost a Blade Runner kind of feel to it, even down to whatever the wherever you got your thumbnail with the XYZ. That just, I'm a big fan of the movie, and it just has a Blade Runner feel to it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually, that was done by a guy, an artist that we use for all of our other artwork. He's out of Indonesia. He's a real great artist, though.
Uh-huh.
And but yeah, so that artwork is based off of a real place in Tokyo called Kabukicho, and
Oh, okay.
it's a real fun place. It's where all the yakuza are, and it's where all the hookers are. It's where
Whoa.
all the bars are. It's just the red light district of Tokyo.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Real fun
All
place
right.
to be.
Well, I've always wanted to go to Japan. I dig the culture too. From mixed martial arts. I used to follow it a lot. When they had Pride Fighting Championships and
I used
K1.
to love watching Pride fighting in K1,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
just and samurai movies and things like that.
hmm
Um, but yeah, back to the single City Hunter. So that's a comic book, and basically it's, if I get it right here, the guy is the main character is he's like a private eye kind of private investigator
Sort
kind of
of,
dude.
sort of, yeah, kind of like a private eye slash bodyguard hitman. Whatever you need him to be, he'll do it
Wow,
for you.
he's the man with the gun. Okay,
Man
gotcha.
with the gun.
And so if you need him, you write XYZ in Shinjuku,
Yeah,
which is a station, a train station.
yeah. You go to the train station, right? XYZ, he'll find you. That's kind of the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
He's got eyes everywhere. That's like
Gotcha.
the whole point of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So no, I mean, the song is fantastic. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so that's just one song, and you guys are working on an entire record. Is that right?
Yeah, we're actually a whole month behind right now. I had to go to the hospital last week. I got kind of sick, and so that
Hmm.
set me behind. I'm doing all the vocals. It's literally all we got left. But
Okay.
I got a little sick, so it was kind of hard to sing while I was sick. I'm still
Sure.
got like a little bit of congestion, so once that clears up, I'll be able to finish singing.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta get the
Yeah,
pipes in order for
yeah,
sure. Nice.
definitely.
Do you have kind of a projected date or time frame that for this to be released?
I did. Yeah, the next single was supposed to be released March 15th.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're
Okay.
going into May. So I'm almost 2 months behind now. So
Oh, all right. All right.
disappointed in myself with that one, but things got in the
Well,
way. So it is what it is.
no, I,
But,
I understand. I'm working on something myself. I'm working on a book, and it's
mm,
it's the same way. When you're working on a big project and you want to get it done right, and then just other things cut in and and
yeah,
just hold you back a bit. But yeah, you just have to keep pushing forward, as I'm sure you know.
yeah, yeah. So I don't want to release anything half-assed, and
Sure.
it only looks
Sure.
bad on us. And so yeah, I'm just gonna now. Luckily, though, all that downtime of not singing, I was able to record all the guitars and everything else, so everything's
Hmm.
ready to go. Yeah,
Oh, great. Great.
on and get the vocals out.
Nice. Um, so everybody's got everybody's got jobs, right? I mean, this is something
Mhm.
that I ask other bands because the climate is different now. Like back in the '80s, everybody was busting their ass and hoping to make it, and by making it, getting a record contract that would allow you to live. Like that was
Yeah,
your means of that was your revenue stream. but
yeah,
but because heavy metal is kind of on the underground here in the United States now. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to live. So I'm guessing everybody. You were just saying that the other band members are at their jobs. What does everybody do?
So my bass player, he works at a warehouse. The other guitar player, he's at a restaurant right now running tables.
Hmm.
Uh, I myself am just an Uber driver.
Okay.
It's the only way I'm able to like make money, enough money, and also have free time to, stop what I'm doing so I can go work.
Right.
It's definitely not the best job, but whatever, man. It's what I got
Yeah.
to do to be able to make music.
Sure. Sure. And then the drummer.
Well, so right now, our drummer actually moved to Nashville, so we're actually looking for a drummer now.
Oh, okay.
He's a real cool guy, and I wish him the best of luck in Nashville, dude. He's doing his thing and he's making it.
Oh,
So
okay. So he's involved
yeah,
in the music scene there.
yeah. He had a good
Wow.
opportunity and he took it, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
So
for mine, I haven't been there, but I've talked to people who have, and there's just like bands all over the place, and you can just hop. If you're a decent musician, you can kind of just hop from band to band, and you
oh,
know,
dude, yeah, he told me like his very first day there, he went to like some like jam session night and like played drums, just jumped in on a jam session. He got picked up by two different bands on his first night there.
yeah,
So
wow,
good for him. He's a good drummer
yeah,
too, man. A
yeah,
bitchin'
yeah,
drummer.
for sure. All right, so you're in the market for another drummer,
Yeah, for now.
but the guy that left, he laid down all of his tracks for
Yeah,
this
he laid
record.
down literally about 2 weeks before he had to leave. We went into the studio and he laid down all the drum tracks, and
Wow.
then he bounced off to Nashville.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah,
Well, at least you got that. All right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So everyone's got something, but what what are your plans for Wild Charge? Where do you see it going?
I mean, dude, I want to take this as far as it can go. I mean, I'm realistic. I live in reality. The days of becoming Iron Maiden where you have your own 747, those are long gone, you know.
Yeah.
But if it can just get us to like, tour or just so people can, if people like it enough that they'll listen, I don't even care if I don't make a single dollar. I just want to make music people like. And if they like it, cool. If they don't, whatever, you know. But
I mean, ultimately, you have to do it for yourself.
yeah, I mean, we're just doing like somebody, I think we got one negative comment that I know of, and somebody said it's nothing new. That was it. They were just like, oh, it's good, but it's nothing new. And I was like, oh, well, we're not trying to do anything new. We're trying to do what we like. What we like
Yeah,
is old fashioned. Oh, well, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to keep the wheel spinning.
there you go. Yeah, nice. So, did you guys go over to Japan recently?
I do. I go there. I have some connections out there, and we're going to
Yeah.
be going there in July to do some shows.
Okay, I did see that on your Facebook. You got at least 2 gigs.
Yeah,
You're
we got
probably
two
hoping
gigs.
for more.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there in June. Because like I said, we don't have a drummer, so I'm gonna go there and work with the guy I know out there. I'm gonna teach him the songs, and while I'm there, I'm gonna try and get maybe another show. Talk to the people I know, see if I can get us one more show out there.
Yeah.
But as of right now, we got a show in Nagoya and a show in Tokyo.
Okay. And I mean,
Yep.
that's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What kind of venues are we talking about? Like are they kind of a bar kind of thing, or
Like live houses, I guess, like would be the best way to put it. Like clubs, clubs.
clubs? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
No,
not playing fucking.
that's good. What's that?
We're not playing Budokan or nothing. Not
Oh
nothing
well,
gigantic.
not yet, not
No,
yet.
no, no, maybe one day. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I really feel that you guys could take off there.
Yeah.
Because of the influence, that you portray in your at least in a couple of songs, like you say,
Yeah.
and just I just think yeah. I mean, Japan, at least I don't know about now, but it used to be. I mean, you could they had an appetite for they loved rock and roll.
Oh, dude,
You know.
it's still huge out there, man. I
All
mean,
right. Well, good,
that
good.
one area that we did our single cover, there's 7 rock bars that I can think of off the top of my head just on that one street.
Hmm.
Like, rock and metal is still huge out there.
Oh, that's
So,
great. That's great. And yeah, I mean, even Europe, they have
yeah.
all through the summer they got festivals. Be great
Mhm.
if you guys could kind of get into that.
I'd love to
Um,
make it back out there. It'd be fun, man.
yeah, and then even South America, they just had a
Mhm.
big festival I saw with Merciful Fate, and I think Anthrax was there, and
Yeah,
a bunch of other
yeah.
big
I
acts.
saw that. Yeah,
Right.
it'd be great
So
to get out there, man. I mean, hell, I would love to travel the world. That's what drew me to music was seeing old videos of like Motley Crue and shit, just like flying their jets to any old fucking country to play.
yeah,
And to me, I was like, man, I want to see the world. I guess I got to be a musician. So,
there you go.
that was choosing the hard route.
It was either that or the military, right?
Hey, yeah, I didn't want to cut my hair, so
There you go. So yeah, your fate was sealed.
yeah.
Nice. Um, yeah. What do you figure like with what's going on here in the United States? I mean, do you think we'll ever get to the point where maybe it won't be the dominant musical genre, but kind of a little bit better than it is right now?
I think things move in a cyclical pattern.
Right.
I think one day it'll come back around. I mean, like country music for some reason is starting to get really big again, and that was kind of
Mm,
big in like the late '70s. So I mean, it was actually kind of big in the '90s, as I recall. So I'm
right.
sure rock and roll and heavy metal, like it'll start to circle back around. I mean, as much as people hate to say it, if you look at bands like Ghost or Greta Van Fleet, they're taking off, they're getting big, and
Right.
all it needs is 1 or 2 bands to get people's interest, and then they'll start digging deeper. I think another problem too is that it kind of stems down to what radio stations and record labels play. As much as I like the older bands, I think that they kind of dug themselves into their own hole by replaying the same music over and over again and not really giving newer bands a chance. It kind of gave a whole generation of musicians kind of the back door. They're just like, hey, you guys are good, but we're going to keep listening to the Beatles. We're going to keep listening to Iron Maiden. And I love both those bands.
Right.
But, there's a lot of bands that kind of got swept under the rug so we could keep hearing the same shit every day on the radio.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point. There's a festival I'm in Pennsylvania, and there's a festival in Maryland, not too far from me,
Hmm.
Columbia, Maryland, M3, and they it's over a weekend. Actually, I think it's coming up soon, but they only go for the older, more established bands. They don't try to nurture the up and comers. You know,
Hmm.
that's the problem I have with it. And now they're at the point where they're not even some of the bands, they're starting to integrate cover bands. Like they can't get AC/DC, but they'll get an AC/DC cover band. It's like,
Yeah.
really, we've come to that point. You'd rather have a band, with no original, just people play, a cover band. You'd rather have a cover band than let some new guys with original material who are young and hungry on the bill. That,
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, that's
It's a
just,
real shame, man. And there's some really great bands like Riot City, Skullfist, Enforcer, Striker, White Wizard. There are tons of good bands
yeah.
over the last 15, 20 years
Mm-hmm.
that, they could have easily sold out arenas if they got the radio play. And they don't. And it's a shame because they're just as good as any of those old bands. And I mean,
I
hell,
agree. I totally
there's a
agree.
million bands out here in California who are also just good enough to be doing the shit that bands were doing in the 80s and 90s. And I'm not trying to sound, oh, fucking bitter. I love all
Mm.
those bands. And I think it's great
Yeah.
that I can still go see Iron Maiden,
Oh yeah.
once a year.
I just
I,
saw
you know,
Judas Priest, like 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I mean, I'm thankful that we're able to still do shit like that. But at the cost of, other bands continuing to grow and keeping the genre alive. So
Yeah.
I think we've kind of all collectively forced ourselves into becoming an underground genre eventually, is what it's going to be, at least in the US. You go out to
Mhm.
Europe, a lot of these bands are a lot bigger. And, it's a shame that
It
we kind
is.
of just
Yeah.
focus on the big guys.
Right. And even a band that was kind of on the softer side, Mr. Big, they were
Oh, yeah.
huge in Japan.
They're
And
gigantic out there, man.
and
It's
they had a
ridiculous.
number one single here in the United States, but I don't, I mean, I don't think they really had the popularity over here,
No, they
despite
had
that.
that one soft song, but you know what? The
Right.
rest of the album is fucking killer heavy metal.
Oh
They had a
yeah. Oh yeah.
ballad because that was the thing to do, and they got big on the ballad.
Right.
So it's a
Sure. I mean,
shame.
you got to have a power ballad. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're banned in the 90s.
Do you guys have a power ballad?
No,
No, no power. Okay, maybe next record.
maybe, I don't know, man. I'm afraid of the power of the power ballad.
No, yeah, yeah. I don't know. They say that Cherry Pie was what did everything. You know.
Oh, dude. Yeah, and that's such a shame for that
I don't
band
know.
too, man. Dude, Warrant had some good ass songs,
Oh
especially
yeah,
on the Filthy, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich album. That is such a badass album,
yeah.
and what a shame.
And as the story goes, I think if I have this right, Janie Lane, or I guess they had finished the second record, but
Hmm.
whoever the record company's like, well, we don't hear a single. What's your
Yeah.
radio single? So he wrote
Hmm.
that one like in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And they recorded that, and that was it. Oh, there it is. That's
That
exactly
became
what
his
we were looking
life
for.
after
What's
that,
that?
and that became his life. That's all
Yeah,
he was known for after that, was like cherry pie this, cherry pie that.
yeah.
And from what I recall, the record was supposed to be called Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is a way better song.
Oh, it's a fantastic song. Yeah, man. Hmm. But yeah, yeah. I've never been to this M3, but I every year I look at who they have playing, and yeah, it's all the older bands. Yeah, and I'm the same way you are. I love seeing them. Like last summer, we have something here. It's called the York Fair.
Mhm.
Um, they have a stage you could probably fit, if you filled it, you could fit like 10, 12,000 people. But Vince Neil was there without Motley Crue, just Vince Neil and his backup band with Dana
Yeah.
Strum, and I like Dana Strum. And then you had Stephen Pearcy without Rat, and then Quiet Riot with just Rudy Sarzo. He's the only quasi original member, but I mean, still, it's still
Yeah.
good to see and to hear the songs and everything. You know what I mean? It's still good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been to venues or shows like that before too. Like I saw Tom Kiefer's Cinderella. It
Mm-hmm.
was basically Cinderella. It was still cool, but I mean, I wish so badly that they would like do this and then get some younger bands on the bill, man, just to keep it alive, keep people interested, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I tell you what, if I've thought about this, like if I won the lottery, if I had, a couple $100 million, I would
Mhm.
have uh my own rock and roll show, my own heavy metal um festival. And it
Yeah,
would but then I would have the headliners would be like you were talking about, like a Riot City, who's, they got a couple of strong albums out and they've been around for about 10 years. I like somebody like that would be near or at the top of the bill, and then have all the other guys they're on their way up, filling it out.
yeah,
I would do.
yeah,
How
and
passionate
I
I
think
am. I think it's terrible because I've
no, I
interviewed
think
you, and I've interviewed or a bunch of other bands, and yeah, they're the same way. They're into it, but yeah, they've got other jobs, and they're like, geez, we don't know. We're trying to do what we can.
yeah. I mean, dude, I'm scraping every single fucking penny I have to, make shit happen. And,
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep doing it DIY as long as I can, man. But I think gone are the days of, bands getting big. I don't think
Uh,
I think it's just a foregone era.
mhm. Well, now you said DIY, so you don't have a record contract. You just produce your own.
We recorded all of we record everything ourselves. I mix and master it all.
Wow, wow,
And then
okay,
yeah, no, that's
nice.
all. The whole song. I mean, it probably sounds like it, but it's that's just all in my bedroom, man. Mic'd up everything right there. The only thing we didn't mic up in my room was the drums, and that's just because it's too fucking big.
It's so
So
loud.
we went to the studio we rehearse at, and we recorded the drums there.
Mhm.
And yeah,
You, I found it's probably an older song of yours. I think it's called Samurai Steel.
yeah, that's an
That's out there.
example of that's a bad song. We're re-recording that one. But that
Okay.
was my first attempt at like self-recording, and that kind of is how I learned how to do all that shit,
All
like
right. All right.
recording and mixing and stuff. I learned a lot from that song. And
Oh,
the
okay.
only reason why it's still up is because there's another band called Wild Charge in Florida. And
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna ask you
yeah,
that.
they're not, I don't know what you would call them. I guess they're like rap, maybe. I don't know, hip hop,
Something.
trap music.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I keep that song up is because it was up before their songs. So if I ever have to claim that we did it first,
Mm.
it's petty, but it's all I
Yeah.
got
No. No.
to
No. Not at all. I
claim
mean,
the
this is
name.
business. This is business. I
Yeah,
mean, you
it
you
just
should
sucks because
probably
it's a bad track.
uh well, you should probably copyright the name.
Yeah, when I have the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Yeah. As far as gigs, are you guys playing a lot?
Well, not since our drummer moved,
Well, yeah.
unfortunately.
I mean, prior to that.
Been kind of a struggle to find a drummer. That and saving up money for the Japan shows. That's been kind of like our main focus is
Mm.
just, procuring funds for like merch and shit like that. But we are actually looking for shows now. I do have a guy lined up who's at least going to do some shows with us as a drummer. He's not going to be our official drummer yet. We haven't figured out who that will be. But we are looking for a drummer. So if you guys know anybody in the
Gotcha.
LA,
In the LA area. Right.
yes.
All right.
But
Yeah, because I did see it looks like you opened for Raven
yeah,
at the
yeah,
Whiskey a Go Go. And
that was a fun show, man.
I interviewed John Gallagher.
Dude,
Uh
isn't he like the nicest guy?
yeah, yeah. He's great.
He's so fucking
Great guy.
nice, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Hard to believe how crazy those guys were back in the day.
Oh, dude, they're still crazy now, man. Like I
Yeah.
remember, I felt like we put on a good show, and then like we go to the green room, trying to get down, and then we go back and watch them put on like probably one of the best metal shows I've ever seen. And these
Uh,
guys are, they're aging, but man, I mean, running around in the audience, fucking getting in the mosh pit while doing a guitar solo, just putting on one of the best shows. Such high energy, man.
uh, they played around here at this little place called the West York Inn
Mm-hmm.
like a couple of years ago. I missed it. And
Mm.
that's what actually got me in touch with. I was like, I'm gonna interview John, and in the process, I'm gonna be like, hey, dude, you got to come back. And
Yeah.
I've seen I've seen footage of the show, and I mean, it was like I said, it was just this little place, but it was fairly well packed, and yeah, they just put on a hell of a show. So I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
man, to see them
Man,
in
I
like a
wish
little
energy
venue
at
like
my age, the guy is just a ball of energy. He's
yeah,
just so fucking. I asked him too after the show. I'm like, man, what's your secret? Like, how do you have so much energy? Like, I run out of breath on stage. I'm singing and trying to move around, and
yeah,
this guy, like, He's got a cordless mic so he can run around and sing. And he just told me, like he just eats good and drinks tea. That's it. He doesn't fuck around with junk food. I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
dude. Well, I guess I'm fucked.
So that was at the whiskey, and then did you open up for Dokken too?
Yeah, at the whiskey as well. That
The
was a
whiskey.
fun show.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. We've played a few shows at the whiskey. I mean, that's kind of like been our go-to place
Mhm.
when we were doing a lot of shows. But yeah, Dockham, that was a real fun show. And at the time, I had a good relationship with the guy who was doing booking for us at the whiskey.
Mm.
And I was with a friend, and we were just fucking around, walking around by the whiskey. I think we were going to like a Mexican place next door to the whiskey. And I saw the poster for Doc, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna text him and get that Dawkins show. And he's like, you're not gonna get the show. I'm like, I'm gonna do it right now, dude. I text him like, hey, dude, is there any free spots? And he's like, you got it. I'm like, hell yeah.
Nice,
So
nice.
that was on a whim, and I wasn't even prepared for that show, but we did it anyway, and it was fun.
That's great. I just saw George Lynch. You know,
Mm,
I guess it was Lynch Mob, not Dokken,
yeah,
but he was
yeah.
at a just a bar
Hmm.
near my house, and that was a great show.
Yeah, yeah. He
Um,
puts on a good show, dude.
he's
He's
like 70 years old.
yeah. George Lynch. He's see, I know he's buddies with Warren D. Martini.
Hmm.
And why can't I fucking remember his name? Jakey Lee. So those three used
Okay.
to live together. And I don't
Oh
know
wow.
how true this is, but a good friend of mine, he's like obsessed with Jakey Lee, told me that while they were living together, Jakey Lee would
I
just
don't know if
write
that's
riffs and
healthy,
just
but
toss it
okay.
to them.
I'm
Eh,
sorry. What's that?
I guess Jakey Lee, Warren DeMartini, and George Lynch used to live together. This is what
Right.
I heard. I wasn't fucking there. But apparently Jakey Lee would write riffs and give it to them, and he wrote like a lot of Rat's big hits, so I'm told.
Oh.
And he also wrote some Dokken riffs, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
Who knows? Who knows
I
if that's
mean,
true, but it's a fun little
he,
story.
yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, I know he was very, very well regarded, well respected, on the LA scene.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, that could very well be. Trying to think of, I know he was in Rough Cut for a little while. There was a band
Hmm.
called Rough Cut, and
Yeah.
he was, I think he might have been the first guitarist for them, and then Craig Goldie came next for a little while, and then they got the two guys that ended up recording Amir Dereka, or I'm Here to Rock, Amir Derak, and Chris Hager. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, he had a short stint in Rough Cut. I think, and wasn't he in Rat for a little while?
He might have been, dude.
And then
I
and then
couldn't
he and
say.
then he passed the mantle along to DeMartini.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, like I said, even with the story I told you, I mean, that could be bullshit, but that's just what I heard.
yeah, right, right. Wow. Yeah, man. What a time that was. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Would have been cool to be there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but hey, you're here now, and you're carrying on the tradition. So that's
Trying
great.
to. Yeah, man. I mean, there's tons of good bands, dude, like even better than us, who are trying to make it happen, trying to keep that spirit alive, man. And I
Mhm.
just think I'm not sure what it's going to take to keep people, loving this shit. You either love it or you hate it at this point.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. So right. So all right. So you got to finish the record
Yes.
and go to Japan,
Hmm.
do a couple gigs out there, and get yourself a permanent drummer. Right.
Oh,
Oh, you kind of
good
froze there,
now.
Chris.
Yeah,
Hey,
we got to get a
Chris.
new drummer. That's probably top of the list. Huh?
Sorry, you were
Hello?
you kind of froze there.
I think, hold on. Yeah, hold on. You're frozen too.
Oh, great. Yeah, I got a
Uh,
thing that
okay.
said
Wait.
my internet connection was bad or some shit.
Okay, there you are.
I don't know. Is it
Yeah.
good now? It's good now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely we gotta finish the record. I'm fucking trying to get on that as fast as I can, trust me.
Mhm.
I don't want to lose traction.
Right,
Um, obviously there's no turning back now. The Japan shit's that's paid for, so not exactly gonna not do it at this point. And
right, right. Oh no,
but
that'll be great.
other than that, drummers at the top of the list, man, because we want to start playing shows around here again, dude. You know, I
Yeah.
got a lot of good friends out here, some great bands like Titans Wrath. I love those guys. You
Hmm.
know,
Oh, I'll
Anubis,
have to check them out. Titans Rat.
Anubis, Titans Wrath, another band, Angel Fury, is female singer. She's a bitchin' fucking singer, dude. And they're all up and coming out here. And you know, I'd like to get out there so I can start playing some shows with them again. You know, it's been a while since
Oh yeah.
we played with our friends.
Yeah, right. No, that's
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's all part of the fun, right? I mean, hanging
yeah,
out and you know, kind of seeing what other people are doing and kind of feeding off of it, right?
yeah.
You know, the whole creativity.
hmm No,
Yeah.
it's always fun, dude. Like you go to a show and like, you know, one of your friends' bands debuts a new song. You're like, fuck, how'd they think of that, man? That's badass. I got to do something like that. You know, and
Yeah. So it's
it's
inspiring.
always fun, dude. Yeah. So definitely we got to get back out there as soon as possible. We got to find that drummer first, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm not playing to a backing track.
Oh yeah. No, no, no. And what about merch? Are you you guys have anything going with that, like t-shirts or other
Right now we
things?
just got shirts and stickers, you know, just the basic shit. I'm actually after this interview, we're gonna be ordering some new merch. We got some new shirt designs because we just have like the old Samurai Steel t-shirts, you know, and we're getting more new merch design, basically new
Oh,
t-shirts
okay.
and patches finally, because you know we don't have fucking patches. So we gotta get we're gonna get patches finally, maybe some pins, just the basic shit, you know, shirts
Yeah.
and stickers.
Are you gonna put
And
the City Hunter on the front?
I want to make that a shirt, man. That's gonna be
Yeah.
expensive though with all those colors, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
But that would be a hell of a shirt.
yeah, no, I definitely want to make that a shirt. We got some other designs too that for the other two singles, and I think they'll make some badass shirts too.
Mhm.
If not, they'll make really good stickers. So who knows?
Nice, nice. And I see behind you that you got your backdrop there.
Yeah, dude, our old homemade backdrop, dude. We made this in the parking lot at one of our shows. Looks like
Nice.
shit. You can see some of the overspray right there.
Yeah, but you know, with the lights dimmed and from far away, I bet it looks great.
Yeah, and if you squint and don't
Yeah,
look at it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, I mean, we've had this thing for fucking years, man. It's a literally a piece of shit old bed sheet that I just spray painted. But
Uh,
like I said, everything we do has been
nice.
DIY this far, so we'll keep it going.
There you go, man. That's awesome. Well, Chris, is there anything else that you want to add? Any like where can people? Obviously, they can go to YouTube and listen to the
Yeah,
song.
they could find us on pretty much every single streaming platform. You know, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. I'm sure we're on iTunes too. I don't know. Um, but if you want to keep up to date with us, you know, you can follow us on Instagram at Wild Charge Metal. There's some underscores in there. And Facebook, I think, is the same thing, Wild Charge Metal,
Mhm.
to differentiate ourselves from the other Wild Charge. And
Right. Who are definitely not metal.
no, they're not. And it's very awkward.
Yeah.
People have been like, hey, is this you guys? I'm like, no, that's not us. But
Man.
yeah, you know, follow us on Instagram to stay up to date. You know, we're gonna be having some stuff coming out real soon, hopefully sooner than later. Uh Hopefully I'll be done with the vocals by the end of the week. And then it's just a matter of mixing and mastering. And
Nice.
yeah, so check us out there.
Well, that's great, Chris. Thanks so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks
And
for having me, dude.
yeah, and